So, I gotta say, the ending of this game was a real letdown. Just when I was getting into the groove, boom, the game just ends. No option to keep going, no way to continue growing the studio. I get that it might not be historically accurate or whatever, but even some randomly generated trends could have made it work. And speaking of weird limitations, I couldn't unlock the large office at all. The option was just blank, no explanation, no way to select it, no idea what happened there. Then there's the studio star rating. It drops way too fast. Even with a medium office and a full executive team, I could only hit around 3.5 to 3.7 stars. And since you can only develop one movie at a time, there's no way to keep up. That's another thing. Why can't we work on two movies at once, especially with a bigger office and a bigger team? That should be a no-brainer. A sandbox mode would be a great addition, along with a way to save the best movie settings from previous games. Maybe even introduce TV series instead of just movies. Right now, time flies by so fast that making two blockbuster films back to back is nearly impossible without your studio's fame tanking. At its core, it's a fun little game, but the replayability is pretty limited unless you grab it on sale. And the lack of basic features is frustrating, like, you can't even delay a movie release. If you start marketing but don't have enough money to actually push it, you're stuck. There's no way to hold off until you have the funds, which makes the whole process feel half-baked. And look, I understand why genre fatigue exists, but it's kind of extreme. If you're putting out a masterpiece in the same genre every year, people wouldn't realistically get tired of it that fast. It should depend more on the quality. If a movie is bad, sure, make the fatigue worse. But if it's a hit, the effect should be way less punishing. What really killed the experience for me was how abruptly it ended. I was making steady progress, and then, game over. No warning, no chance to finish research, just done. That made everything I built feel pointless. On top of that, genre fatigue makes it frustrating to specialize. If you've invested in analytics and high-end tools for, say, making great dramas, switching to a new genre feels like rolling the dice. You have no data, no idea how to allocate your budget, and most likely, you'll lose a ton of money on a flop. That's not fun game design. The game has potential, no doubt. It's basically a movie industry take on something like Mad Game Tycoon 2. Not as deep, but it could get there. For a debut title from the studio, it's impressive, but it definitely needs some patches. Also, why are we limited to one theme instead of mixing multiple genres? And what does that third marketing stat even do? Bottom line, it's worth checking out if it's on sale or in a bundle, but in its current state, I can't fully recommend it. It's a solid intro to movie management sims, way less intimidating than something like Hollywood Animal, but it still feels unfinished.